The Metaverse. It's a topic that's been discussed a lot lately. It's a topic I've brought up a lot lately. And it's a topic that needs to be talked about. We're at the cusp of one of the most critical moments in the history of virtual reality technology, and whether you're ready for it or not, a technological revolution is happening in the VR and AR spaces right now. Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and even Nvidia have all announced their own work on their own respective metaverses to varying degrees by now, so it's no surprise that we will see a drastic shift in the market over the next few years. It is important for us, all of us, if we truly care about the future of VR tech and what it can be, and the future of the metaverse, to stand up and do something about it. And you might think, well, what can I do? I'm just one person. And you're right, you are just one person, but I am also just one person, and the person next to you is also just one person. All the people around you are all individually just one person. But if we work together, we can accomplish almost anything we put our minds to. In fact, even by ourselves, we can enact remarkable change without the help of others. I would like to show you something to prove to you that one person, even a handful of people, can make a huge difference in the world around themselves, and ask you to think about what might be possible if enough people realized that and worked together to accomplish amazing things. There can be alternatives to what Facebook wants the metaverse to be, and they can be ours, the players, to be the way we want it to be, to put the power in the players' hands. Project Universe is a sci-fi themed MMORPG in development now that is headed up and owned by founder Michael Boisson. Him and a small team of volunteers and developers have spearheaded this extremely ambitious project to create not just a video game, but a system of learning that can evolve and change over time. An online persistent world where you can craft, mine, explore, farm, fly through space, socialize with friends, shop for real-world items in-game, and even learn real-world skills, critical thinking, and problem-solving. Project Universe exceeds and even denies the preconceived notions of what a simple video game can and should be. The game is encouraging voluntary collaboration between people while entertaining and teaching individuals how to both play and work responsibly in space. It will be open source, accessible to almost everyone, and will include desktop, mobile, VR, and AR support. Though it won't have a metaverse available at launch, the game is being developed and constructed with an expansion into a metaverse-like system in mind in the long term. The game's existence proves that anyone can enact the change they wish to see in the world at any time and make a difference in their own way. Founder and CEO Michael Boisson knows this better than anyone, and that is the exact reason he started Project Universe to begin with.
Essentially, it's a crazy idea that I started working on because I was bedridden. In 2016, Crohn's disease rendered me bedridden through severe internal bleeding. And then through a series of very unfortunate events, I ended up nearly dying several times. And then in December of 2017, the last time I nearly died, I went to the ER and I was going through sepsis. My entire body was going numb. I was in the hospital for like 16 hours before I had surgery. I just felt my body going numb, and it was incredibly terrifying. And then I went back to have surgery, and I was like, all right, well, if I die, I die. And then I woke up in the place where they watch you, and I was there for a week. I was pretty much forced to lay on my left or right side. I had no idea what I was going to do. Prior to Crohn's, I was becoming a helicopter pilot, and I was like, all right, well, what the hell am I going to do? I don't really have any other applicable skills. I was going to school to get something that I would be able to have a career out of. And I was like, all right, well, I've been in game development for a really long time. Might as well figure out some way to make a life out of that, because I'm able to work on a game from home, and I already have all the resources I need. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do that. And it pretty much led to this crazy idea of using a video game or developing a video game as a way of facilitating helping humanity. And that throws a lot of people off, and it just kind of grew from there, and yeah.
Long term, the plans for Project Universe seem quite ambitious, particularly for a small team, let alone even a AAA game developer. But under silver linings of VR tech and hopes for a metaverse, there is a real functioning playable game lying at the core of all that optimism. So what are the fundamental gameplay aspects and core mechanics of Project Universe?
The core mechanics: mining, salvaging, crafting, building stuff. If you are a person who likes a lot of more farming simulation games, then there is a farming simulation mechanic that we hope to make as fun and interesting as possible for people who like to do that. If you want to explore, then there is a lot to explore. Procedural generation and all that stuff, you could just go, I want to explore, and I'll take some mining vessels or something with me. If you want to mine, then well, you can mine. If you want to fly ships around and blow things up, then you can certainly do that. The goal is to give as many options within reason, as many options and as much depth to those options as we can, so that everyone has at least something that they really like to do that they can do.
A procedurally generated sci-fi MMORPG that fosters creativity, critical thinking, and socialization while teaching and entertaining people at the same time. For not introverts, there's a single player mode. Play offline as well if you simply despise the thought of dealing with other people. Farming, mining, crafting, exploration are some of the core mechanics at the center of Project Universe's system, though no one is forced into playing a specific way. Enjoy and play the game the way you want to play it.
It's more of an opportunity for us to see what's possible if we work together and plan what's ahead of us rather than just jumping in feet first, I think is really what it's about. And I think the depth that we want to put into the game is going to reflect that.
So when you don't want to farm and you don't want to mine asteroids and you don't want to craft or whatever else we figure out for players to do, you can then go on like expeditions where you go on like maybe a Left 4 Dead style mission where you have to go from point A to point B and you get these resources, and then assuming you survive that mission, you bring the resources back. So you can go and explore a derelict alien spacecraft for technology to bring back and then reverse engineer. And how far you go is based off of your skill and the resources you have available to you. We want you to be able to go as far as you can possibly go and make it back with those resources.
More than just gathering resources and throwing some stuff together, some blocks down, if you will, like with Minecraft or Space Engineers or any of those other games. They're not necessarily bad games, but there's some areas in them that lack, at least to me, that lack depth. And I think the depth that putting into Project Universe is really going to help bring that goal of a forward-oriented game.
Eventually, Michael wants to expand on the base game to create a metaverse-like experience with Project Universe, changing and reimagining the way people work and play in their day-to-day lives.
If they've seen Metaverse, it's kind of like that, but open source, entirely community created, funded. So essentially it's a video game that provides the user interface, like the infrastructure and form of government that will be able to use in space through a video game that is augmented reality and virtual reality and able to be played on your phone and whatever else. With artificial intelligence, it's able to teach you anything, anywhere, on or off Earth, with or without human assistance. So the goal is self-sustainability, because that's pretty much what I need to do for myself.
Unlike with Facebook, Michael wants to focus on cultivating a metaverse that is free of any one entity or governing body. A decentralized metaverse that allows the players to entirely control their own experience.
The video game provides the digital infrastructure we need for a self-sustaining, very minimal government like self-government almost system. Education, wherever you are, because I believe education is the foundation to a better society. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to create. I want everybody to explore who they are and figure that shit out and have a good time. And I know how to do that through video games, and I don't see Facebook focusing on helping people. The idea behind metaverse-like stuff is sound. I think it's very good for people when it's led by people that care about people, like altruistically doing the right thing. And I don't think Facebook is there. I don't think Microsoft is there, or Apple.
And what is the expected date of arrival for this package? Well, that's hard to pinpoint, and understandably so, but Michael has some approximate time frame for at least a workable alpha version of the game.
The game is pretty much coming together as expected. I would say 2024 is a pretty good estimate. It takes a long time to get to the point of having something that's playable. We could have a playable demo or like early release version by that time, with funding and with sufficient community support, whether that be crowdfunding, investors, volunteer developers, whatever. We could probably have it the same playable demo by the end of 2022.
It is possible to do the unthinkable. Mankind has a way of proving that to itself time and time again. As Michael Jordan once said, "They told me I couldn't, so I did." We don't have to be complacent with a future we don't envision for ourselves. I mean, maybe you're okay with Facebook making their own metaverse, which is fine, because, well, they're going to make it anyway. This is proof right here. Project Universe, among various projects in the works all over the world, is a living, breathing example that anyone can create their own version of the metaverse with some dedication and a little imagination. That one person can, in fact, change the world with ideas, words, and actions. That you can actually do something to make sure the vision of a real open source metaverse comes to fruition. That you can do something to impact the VR industry in a meaningful way. That you can do something to make the change we wish to see in the virtual reality technology we love. We don't have to accept what Mark Zuckerberg wants to feed us. We can, in fact, take charge, hold ourselves responsible, and become leaders in the race to seeing true virtual reality versions of the metaverse. Okay, look, I know we're at the end, and this is usually where the shameless YouTuber plugin is, but this time it actually really matters. Not for me, but for the sake of VR and the metaverse and Project Universe. Please make sure you like this video. I don't even care if you subscribe, honestly. Just make sure you like it. Get the algorithm blowing up so that more people can be aware of alternative metaverses and hopefully inspire people to become more involved in the VR community. And share it. Sharing is so important. Think about it. If every person watching this video has even 10 people in their social networks and they share it to them, you could potentially multiply the viewership of this video 10 times. That means you could take 100 views to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000. It compounds exponentially. Plus, it's completely free and it really only takes a few seconds. It's more important than ever to make sure people are aware that there are alternatives to Facebook's metaverse and that we can and should have these discussions about the future of VR. If you want to help support Project Universe, check out their website, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. Links in the description down below. If you hung in there throughout the whole video and the plugin, wow. I really don't know what to say. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gents. If you made it here, you really are amazing. I do love each and every one of you, beautiful feather muckers. Until next time, Gramsy out.